We are back in Garden of Salvation for part 2 of my 3-man series today, and I'm going to show you how you can beat the second encounter, which is you and 2 of your friends. Instead of rambling about nonsense for 5 minutes like I did in part 1 and then letting gameplay run, I'm actually going to do a full walkthrough so you know exactly how you can complete this, which is 2 of your friends. My team figured it out after lots of discussion and watching gameplay from other people, but it took us a while, so I'm here to help you get a head start. We'll do the full walkthrough first, I'll do my best to explain what we did, and then I'll let the full run play out from my perspective. Since you're here to 3-man the raid, I'm assuming that you're not learning it for the first time, so I'm not going to explain a whole lot about the basic mechanics. I'm hoping if you're trying this, you've got a decent understanding already, so with that cleared up, let's get right into phase 2. My team moved from left to right in this phase, so the beginning conflux is 1, the conflux I run to immediately on the left is 2, the conflux directly opposing the first is 3, and so on. If your team begins by running to the right, then you'll have to account for that when referencing my callouts. Also, I'm going to use personal callouts because that's just a lot easier for me to remember, but you can substitute in your team members' names for whichever job you pick. You'll be seeing my perspective for this run, as unfortunately I don't really have footage for the rest of my team. This walkthrough is going to be pretty methodical. It might sound like a lot, but once you get the big picture of what's going on, it becomes fairly easy. And with all of that prefacing the guide, let's get started. To start the encounter, I will immediately run down the left hallway towards Conflux 2, while Cal and Hogs link up the first Conflux. Once that one's linked, Cal will run to join me at 2, which I've hopefully cleared out by then. As soon as Cal arrives, we link up, granting the Enlightened buff as well as opening the portal, which is key. Cal will then return to Conflux 1 to refresh the Enlightened buff for Hogs, while we defend from the incoming wave of Vex. Once the wave concludes and it says Undergrowth defenses subside, all 3 of us meet at Conflux 2 to refresh the buff. At that point, Hogs is responsible for defending both Confluxes 1 and 2, while Cal and I clear out Conflux 3. So Hogs, or player 3 for your team, has to rotate quickly between the portals to make sure that no Vex sacrifice. And I mean very quickly. You need weapons that will allow you to kill Vex without getting too far away from the portal, because they come at a pretty good pace. This is a process that my team has termed juggling, since one person is managing 2 different confluxes. Juggling is a term I'll be using somewhat frequently moving forward. After Cal and I open Conflux 3, we generally sit tight a minute and defend 1 wave, 1 person at each open conflux. After defenses subside, Cal and Hogs link at Conflux 2 to refresh the buff. I won't need to do that, since at this point I'll be making my way over to Conflux 4 and will not encounter any Enlightened Vex. At this point, Cal, or Team Member 2, is responsible for juggling Confluxes 2 and 3, so all at the same time. I'm running 2 and clearing out Conflux 4, Cal is juggling 2 and 3, and Hogs is defending Conflux 1. Hogs will not stay at 1 very long though. He has to head to Conflux 4 immediately after clearing out the first wave of Vex so that he can link up at Zone 4. Once you link up at Zone 4, all of them will have portals linking the confluxes. Something to take note of here is that generally Hogs will use Thunder Crash to get over to Conflux 4 quickly. Sometimes that saves just enough time for him to get back to defend Zone 1. So immediately after Hogs and I link up, I will meet Cal at Conflux 3 to refresh the Enlightened buff. At this moment, all 3 of us have enough time on our buffs to make it through a round of defense. So now that your team has all 4 confluxes linked, all you have to do is prevent Vex sacrifices. Since there are 3 of you, if each member of the team juggles, you can create some overlap. So generally I would take 3 and 4, Cal would take 2 and 3, Hogs would take 1 and 4. After every successful defense, as in the text appears saying that Undergrowth defenses have subsided, all 3 of you need to meet at a conflux to refresh your Enlightened buff. Doesn't matter which one. We picked Conflux 2, but it really doesn't matter. So when you try this with your team, just pick the one that's the most convenient for you. So at this point, the only other wrench in the system is that Angelics will spawn, which is kind of a big wrench. Angelics randomly spawn at one of the confluxes each round, so when this happens, make sure that you call it out to your teammates so they can cover whichever conflux you aren't defending. Juggling 2 different confluxes when one of them has Angelics on it is not an easy task, and it's really best if you can focus on one and have your teammates pick up the slack. So, the basic flow of the encounter after you link all 4 portals is going to be Tether for Enlightenment, defend 2 confluxes per person, call out and destroy Angelics, then run back to the designated conflux and restore your Enlightened buff with your teammates. After you've killed Angelics at each of the 4 confluxes, the walls blocking off the center will go down, and you and your team will all converge for one final defense. Similarly to before, clear adds, prevent sacrifices, down the Angelics, and tether it in between rounds. And if I could give one piece of advice, don't hold back at this point. This is the time to spend all your supers and heavy ammo. There's no reason to save it now. It gets crazy quick once the supplicants start spawning, and you need to use everything at your disposal to make sure you succeed. You definitely don't want to mess up when you're this close. Just defend against a few more waves here, the encounter will finish, and you will have just successfully completed half of the raid with a fun-sized fire team. So before you give this a shot, I've just got a couple very general tips that might help you out a little bit. First one, stay close to the portals when juggling. Vex will close in faster than you're expecting on the confluxes, and you have to be swapping between them pretty quickly to catch them all. Don't stay on one side too long. Secondly, don't hold back. I know I like to conserve ammo and supers, but sometimes if you're in trouble, just use your super. You only have 2 allies, and it's much more difficult to overcome mistakes. So when the Angelics spawn, or when you get to the middle, just let your supers fly. I also found it helpful to use my super as a Revenant Hunter when initially clearing out confluxes 2 and 4. In player 1's role, you're going to be clearing out those confluxes all by yourself, so it's a good idea to use your super to clear them out quickly. And also, definitely use your super when you get to the middle. Revenant Hunter, Bubble Titan, doesn't really matter honestly, any super is going to be helpful here, just use it. Third tip is that area of effect weapons are pretty good. Whether that's solar grenades, void walls, or wither horde, they can all be clutch options that buy just enough time to fend off Vex at one conflux while you check on another. And lastly, I'd say some good weapons for this encounter would be Falling Guillotine for the Angelics, Wither Horde for general defense and also pretty good for Angelics, Sunshot or Trinity Ghoul for clearing ads quickly, and a high capacity machine gun that lets you kill Vex quickly without having to step away from the portal. Any of these weapons will serve you well, and of course there are many others I'm not including here. To be honest, any of the guns that create Warmind cells would be great, since Warmind cells are just amazing as of right now. But I think that's about all I've got for right now, so I hope you found all this helpful, that you give it a try. It's tons of fun, and I recommend attempting this with your friends. I'm fully aware there are likely better ways to do this raid 3-man. We're not 100% polished, but I'm just sharing what worked for me and my team. Regardless, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the guide and would like to see more content like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm gonna let the full run play out now, so I'll catch you in the next one.